How does actor-observer bias relate to self-serving bias? Have you ever wondered why we tend to judge others differently than we judge ourselves? This question leads us to two important concepts: actor-observer bias and self-serving bias. Both of these biases shape how we perceive and explain behavior, but they do so in different ways. Let's start with actor-observer bias. This bias happens when we attribute our own actions to external factors, like circumstances or situations. For example, if you miss a deadline, you might say it was due to a heavy workload or unexpected interruptions. But when someone else misses a deadline, you might think they are simply disorganized or lack time management skills. This can lead to misunderstandings and unfair judgments about others. Now let's look at self-serving bias. This bias is about how we explain our successes and failures. When we achieve something positive, we often credit our own abilities or hard work. However, if the outcome is negative, we tend to blame external factors. For instance, if you do well on a test, you might say it is because you studied hard. But if you do poorly, you might blame the exam questions or the testing environment. So, how do these two biases relate to each other? Both biases help us maintain a positive self-image. Actor-observer bias allows us to avoid taking responsibility for our mistakes by blaming external factors. Meanwhile, self-serving bias helps us feel good about ourselves by taking credit for our successes and blaming failures on outside circumstances. These biases can create stress in our lives. They lead to unrealistic expectations and misunderstandings in our relationships, both personal and professional. To challenge these biases, we can use cognitive techniques for stress reduction and calm mindset. Practicing self-awareness is key. When you catch yourself making quick judgments about others, pause and consider the external factors that might be influencing their behavior. Just as you do for yourself, try to see the bigger picture. This shift in perspective can help reduce misunderstandings and improve your relationships. Additionally, identifying and challenging cognitive distortions is essential. Recognize when you are making excuses for your own behavior or unfairly judging others. By adopting a more balanced view, you can create a more peaceful mindset and reduce stress in your life. In summary, understanding actor-observer bias and self-serving bias can help us navigate our thoughts and behaviors. By challenging these biases, we can foster healthier relationships and a more stress-free mindset.